this America?
Is this America? I love that intro, I ain't gonna lie. But shout out to y'all, man. What's up? This is gonna be episode 13.
Episode 13.
You sure?
I'm positive it's episode 13. Are you
make
sure?
You on your P's and Q's. But yeah, man, we got a nice little discussion we're gonna have today. Obviously, the big topic we're gonna be on Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby is free.
Free man. Freedom. A lot of also some drama is coming some of their ways. You know, when you speak a certain way, some people don't like that, and it leads to an attempt, at least, at destroying you. But let's go ahead and get right into it. Bill Cosby out the gate. So right here, as you can see, Bill Cosby is exploring legal options, could sue over his trial.
That's what I was saying. Was he gonna sue?
Yeah, Bill Cosby is huddling with his legal team Thursday, and a potential lawsuit against Montgomery County will be at the hot topic at the table. I'd be surprised if he doesn't, considering he had a deal that he wouldn't go to prison for his disposition. So
if he doesn't, then we know.
Yeah, either he made a deal in there.
Yep.
Or somebody said, all right, you can get out now.
You can get out now.
Leave it alone.
So we'll keep an eye on you, Bill.
So I'd be surprised if he don't sue. He went to prison. I mean, like I said, it's not about guilty or innocent. It's just about lawful. It wasn't lawful.
There was a deal. They didn't hold up on their deal.
He ended up serving 2 years in prison. Had his name slandered in the media.
You have to pay him. You got to pay him for lost revenue.
Yep.
Because he still was
damage his name.
Damage his name. Slander.
Yeah. So... yeah, man. Bill Cosby, I think he probably
pain and suffering.
Oh yeah, he was in prison. He sat in that cell. He's a wealthy man. He's not used to laying on those hard ass beds, you know.
Those harsh conditions.
Food. There's no way he should live that way. I'm just joking. But also, you see here, Bill Cosby. I'm making a documentary and returning to the stage. So he still want to be a comedian. Look, listen, Bill. I think that side might be over. I don't know if Bill Cosby announced he's having a tour.
I mean, he got stories to tell from what happened to him in prison.
I think he's going to talk more about the bullshit that happened.
He got stories to tell for what went on during the case.
Yeah.
There's a lot of comedic stories he could, you know.
I ain't going to lie. I never watched a Bill Cosby stand up.
Me either.
So I don't know how well he can turn that into a thought-provoking situation. But I'm like,
we don't know what he could do.
Should be easy. Bill Cosby going from the big house to the big screen. The disgraced comedian was sprung from State Correctional Institute Phoenix in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania on Wednesday after his sexual assault conviction was dismissed because of a prosecutor's decade-old agreement. Now, Cosby said he is working with Michelle Major on a documentary reported to be produced by Lionsgate Entertainment about his case. According to the former sitcom star, it's almost complete, and Cosby only needs to sit for his interview, which should occur in the next few weeks. Major, a former producer of Good Morning America and executive producer of the Vice Media's Black Lives Matter, A Global Reckoning, is said to have attended Cosby's trial.
Isn't it sad, though, when you can't go find a black producer?
That's her?
I think that's her in the picture.
Neither Major nor the spokesperson of Lionsgate return calls for comment. I don't know. I don't think that's her. That might be just some...
What's her name?
Caregiver or something. Her name is Michelle Major. But yeah, she said she worked for Lionsgate and stuff. Cosby, who met with his wife Camille on the Upper East Side townhouse, also revealed that he is probably going to participate in the book about his story, though it is undecided if he will write it himself or that he's already spoken to his tour manager and plans to return to the stage. Like I said,
I'm sorry, I take that back. She is a black woman.
Yeah, so I'll be surprised if he's he gonna make everything black. He gonna make everything black.
She is a black woman.
He gonna make everything he touch now black only because he know damn well he gonna need all the support he
But
can
you know
get.
how the media be misleading. They'll have an article, then have you standing next to somebody else to try to
tell you act like it's just like
propaganda.
Yeah, so
can't fall for the propaganda. See how easy it is to fall for?
Another person who's under attack. Felicia Rashad sent a letter to Howard University to apologize for defending Bill Cosby. Yeah. So I didn't know this. She's a dean at Howard. And so she came out and said, finally, justice was served and all this stuff. And the students at Howard.
Which Howard is it's a HBCU.
The students want her fired.
And we already know what demographic was going at her.
Yeah, so after she tweeted to support for Bill, she tweeted, "I fully support survivors of sexual assault coming forward. My post was in no way intended to be insensitive to their truth. Personally, I know from friends and family that such abuse has lifelong residual effects. My heartfelt wish is for healing." Howard University put out a statement, making like, hey, she ain't got nothing to do with us. We support sexual assault. And it's like the fact that the students, and how many students you think actually want her fired?
Not that many.
It's probably not even that many.
And you know what? I think Bill Cosby has
a doctorate there, don't he? Ain't he an honorary?
I'm not for sure. I know definitely he has given money to HBCUs.
I don't know if it's Howard. Maybe it's Temple. Maybe one of those other colleges where he's an honorary doctorate he has. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, they trying to get Felicia up out of here for supporting him. So anybody attached to Bill right now, it's going to be dangerous at first because they are going to try and. But the Me Too movement is over. Are we not going to acknowledge that?
Yeah, Bill Cosby. If it wasn't already over, because we know it was over when Joe Biden was running for president.
Yeah, and they didn't want to listen to that woman Jessica Reed.
Bill Cosby being free.
Yeah,
is like they're telling you.
So
it's
now
over.
I saw another one where another person came out today on Instagram telling a story about a young woman he dated accused Bill Cosby of raping her as well. And I said, hold on. You didn't say nothing before. You didn't say nothing while he was in prison. Now he's released. You're going to bring up another story. And it's like, listen, dog. Me Too is over. When y'all voted for Joe Biden, when that woman came out and accused him, and multiple women accused, I think it was 8. That woman who accused Joe Biden, she had the most believable story. It's on the record in her divorce proceedings with her husband that he said the reason why they're getting divorced is because of her run-in with Biden and it destroyed their marriage. She was never the same, he said. And that's in the divorce papers.
Her husband said that.
Yeah, from 1993 or something like that. Her husband said that. So she told her husband what happened.
Yeah.
And people just said, we don't care, she lying. And I'm like, okay, if we're going to keep this across the board, but we still got y'all talking about certain other people who got allegations against them, and you're believing them when they have nothing. Just word of mouth.
Yeah.
Me Too is dead.
I mean, y'all, for 60 people to come out, y'all should be like, okay, maybe
okay. It's one of those things where some people would say, if one person come out, you go, you got to prove it. 5, it's like, 10, hey man, something going on. But then you go to 60, it's like,
fuck
okay,
it.
Once you get past like 20, it's like, all right, I'm back to being where I was at first.
At 1.
Yeah, at
60
1, it's like,
means
all right,
1.
Now y'all doing too much. Now if he was just now there was a guy, NFL player, a black dude, who was going around drugging women and having raping them, but he was doing that, and he admitted it. He was a dude who was going around these clubs and dropping stuff in women's drinks and raping them. I forgot his name. He was a former NFL. He was a commentator on NFL Network or ESPN. I can't remember his name. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but once you start hearing numbers like 40, 50, 60, it's like, all right. So this many women didn't say nothing for 30 years. Come on. Nigga, come on.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
And speaking of that, nigga, come on. Let's get this nigga to come on. Mr. Marc Lamont Hill got destroyed.
He got his ass spanked.
Now, Marc is known for, I ain't gonna lie, and those debates he be having with those people, he be winning.
Yeah.
Then, a lot of the times he invite people on who don't know what the hell they're talking about, or he knows how to spin an argument really well to just catch them in a box.
I almost commented, but the comment section,
it's turning him up.
Did such a good job.
Black News Channel, somebody said this already. Black News Channel it's not for black people. First off, I found out it's owned by a Middle Eastern man, Middle Eastern American man or something like that. I'm not surprised.
We don't know what he is. I'm still gonna say Jewish. He has
no. You talking about the dude from BET?
Okay,
I'm talking about Black News Channel.
Okay,
I saw somebody say that it's owned by a Middle Eastern American man. Middle Eastern American, is that even a thing? It's like, how does they even work? Middle Eastern American. Okay, anyway. So Marc Lamont Hill had a run-in with Judge Joe Brown. Like I said, he normally gets in these debates and kind of ragdoll these people. He knows how to back them into corners.
He ain't doing it with Joe.
Judge Joe Brown did not let him back him into a corner. He kept defending everything he said strongly.
He stood on it.
It got them the most views in the channel so far. Over 200K.
Kwame Friends done made a damn acronym of go along, get along. When you see GAGAG, that is go along, get along gang.
Yeah, so we're going to watch this. We might even watch the whole thing. This run-in between Marc Lamont Hill and Judge Joe Brown, where he defends his his comments on Bill Cosby's verdict.
And that was slander.
It was slander. Let's get right into it. Hold on.
That's a lawsuit.
Yeah, I mean, he can make an argument that Bill Cosby can sue Black News Channel.
Bill Cosby need to sue Montgomery County, and he need to sue Black News Channel.
Or Lamont Hill, because he said it on Twitter. So would that account for? Well, he said it again on the show.
He said it again on the show.
So let's get right into it, though. Let's go ahead right into it.
Welcome back to Black News Tonight. We are here talking once again about the case of Bill Cosby. As you know, he was released to most people's surprise yesterday, walking out of a Pennsylvania state prison because of a very interesting development in his case. And yesterday, many celebrities chimed in on social media. One of TV's most well-known judges, Judge Joe Brown, was one of those people who called out the way that mainstream media had been covering the story. Hours ago, he tweeted, and to be clear, much of this was in response to something I wrote, but he said, anyone who was knowledgeable of American law would have expected and predicted the outcome of the Cosby appeal. Mainstream media in Hollywood incite public disorder by lying to the people about the law and encouraging mob rule. Hollywood reacts to Bill Cosby release with shock. Here to discuss his recent comments, joining me now is Judge Joe Brown. Judge, thank you for joining me.
In that tweet, did he link them to a video? Did they just cut off the video?
Yeah, they cut off the video.
So you didn't see the link? Well, not a video, I'm sorry, a link. I'm not sure though. I think he linked the video in that.
Why do you say that mainstream media encourages mob rule?
I've talked to 43 lawyers around the country, 17 judges, and I haven't found one that was shocked by the verdict. Most saw the same thing that I did from day one. This never should have gone to trial. It's a travesty. It's a violation of due process and American law. It is part of this mess that mainstream media is trying to feed into the heads of the citizenry and poison them by saying that their emotions and their feelings are supposed to have paramountcy over what happens within the law. That's not the way it goes. I get people who never even took what they should have gotten in the 4th and 5th grade get to talking about how somebody going to disprove what these women accuse Dr. Cosby of. And the truth of the matter is you don't have to. They have to prove that what they claim is true, not the other way around. That's American law.
Well, that's kind of the opposite of what society has been pushing out. It's a court of public opinion.
The public is a jury. Yep. If the public defines you as being guilty, then you're guilty.
They'll just find you guilty.
And that's what happened with Bill Cosby. It was literally Hollywood, the media, all coming against this man, and they've already had ruled the public that he was guilty.
Yeah, it's like
same thing with R. Kelly.
It's one of those things where, did Bill Cosby give these women drugs to have sex with them? Remember, I showed y'all in a video that we did on this. Back in the 70s and 80s, Quaaludes were normal. Hugh Hefner called Quaaludes thigh openers. It has been brought to account. It has been brought out that a lot of the Playboy bunnies were given drugs. This was normal in the 70s and 80s.
Quaaludes were literally nouveau.
Quaaludes were the same pills people pop now, ecstasy and all. Yeah. It's the same thing. I'm not saying, like I said, it wasn't normal. It was common back then.
No, it's we're not saying that it's normalizing that you should do that. It's just in that era.
And hell, they still do it.
Still do it now.
They still snort
That's
cocaine.
what they use to say, we're going to say relax you and get you, let's say, quote unquote, in the mood.
Yeah, same thing when Rick Ross got in trouble. What did he say in that song? He said, give her a pill and something. And then Nike dropped the night. Was it Nike or somebody he was signed with?
Yeah.
And they dropped
it was Reebok.
Yeah, Reebok, I guess. That was, like I said, it's not normal. In the industry, it is common. And the women go along with it a lot of the time. Like I said, not all the time. I said a story about an NFL player who was going around doing it to women and they weren't consenting to it. But a lot of the times, there's a lot of this stuff is consensual. This drugs and sex is normal in the industry. Nobody is with anybody. Everybody's with everybody.
What was the motto? Drugs, sex, and rock and roll.
That was normal.
I see too much of this. Show up on the courthouse, voice your opinion, and get the courts to yield to what you believe.
That's what you're talking about. People be outside the courts rallying. Yeah, rallying and all that
That's
stuff.
the mob.
And
the mob of law.
Yeah, now the jury feels... That's what they were trying to do with the George Floyd situation. The defendants were trying to convince the judge that the reason why the jury found him guilty is because they felt threatened by the rallies outside the courthouse. And I'm like, you can kind of make that argument, but then again, that was just a guilty person. He was just guilty. But in certain cases, I'm pretty sure it does influence the jury. You know, do you want to deal with these people in your front yard if they find out your name?
Not white people.
They don't give a
They don't give a fuck.
Guilty.
Guilty. And if you come to my house,
I'm gonna shoot you.
I'm gonna be ready for you.
Like when they ran outside that man and that woman house, and he had a AR-15 and she had a pistol. He lost. He got a confiscated his gun. He bought another one,
and he put on Twitter, Thanks for taking my gun so I can upgrade.
The white people don't give a damn.
That's not the way the law works. That's called mob rule, mob justice. And if you want a more egregious exemplar, take what happened to Emmett Till and every other black man that's been lynched in the history of this country because somebody got emotional and decided to suborn the law, go around it, and do what their emotions drove them to do.
Well, okay, that's a good example. I'm sure that was also just white people sticking with white people. But I'm pretty sure those white people in the jury, when the Emmett Till thing, they knew they had to say not guilty, because if they didn't, that mob would have got them.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there was a little bit of fear from them, but obviously on the other hand, I don't think they felt any empathy for him anyway. They was gonna say not guilty from the gate.
No.
But maybe one or two of them was like, I gotta say guilty. I'm sorry.
So that is the way things ought to be. Law separates us from the animals, and we can't have this disregard of the law. I want to commend this Howard Dean for being forthright enough to speak out on what the reality is, and I would suggest.
Was he talking about Rashard?
I think he's talking about her, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe he just didn't say her name.
I don't think he wanted to put more attention on her than she already had.
Yeah, so he just said this Howard Dean. I want to thank her for sticking out.
That they need to strengthen the breadth requirements at Howard University so I don't see such ignorance coming out of this profoundly historic black university. My father went there way back in the 40s.
Well, Judge, there's two things going.
See, hold on. This is where
Marc Lamont Hill should have interrupted him before he went into the Howard, because it's over.
Like Kwame said when he didn't invite Tommy Sotomayor on his show, like, look, man, Judge talking enough for 3 people. This is what I think he has a channel with that woman, what's it called? The Dana show?
Yeah.
I put out one of her videos on here when he talked about the Juneteenth. But yeah, she just say you ask the question and let him go. that's how Judge Rock. He got a lot of historical facts in his head. He been around a long time, so
he's knowledgeable.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
Going on at once, though, Judge.
That I have heard come out of that place lately. And if anybody
so, Judge, I think there's 2 things happening at once.
Justice, they ought to.
So, Judge, I think there's 2 things happening at once here, and I think on the one hand, many of us are legitimately aware, and myself included, that the criminal legal system doesn't give equal outcomes to everybody, that black folk catch the worst end of this, that black men, when it comes to incarceration, get the absolute worst end of this. And the Bill Cosby case is an example of a prosecutor who was dishonest. Bill Cosby, absolutely, if he's told that you won't be prosecuted for giving this deposition, and then he gets prosecuted, that is a violation of his rights, and that is a violation of due process.
Of course it is.
On the other hand,
due process.
But on the right, but hold on, let me finish this point, Judge.
Going forward, should be disciplined.
So there's that, but then there's the other question that people. So then there's this other question that people, though, have, Judge, which is a legal question. Which is not a legal question. I think those 2 things, to some extent, are getting mixed up. And the non-legal question is about whether or not Bill Cosby actually did harm. Legally, you can say he's not guilty because the not guilty stands.
He didn't do anything. American law, there is an absolute presumption of innocence until you are proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt using due process of law.
See, once again, Mark is still talking about public opinion.
He's still trying to paint the narrative that the public is the one that decides the decision.
So you cannot go to jail, but you can still be in public considered guilty. Even though he tried to compare it. When I let it get to that.
If there was no due process of law, that presumption of innocence does not remove itself and there is no valid conviction. If there is no valid conviction, that presumption of innocence stands as a rock for the defendant. It is to keep the government from acting in a dishonest fashion and using its powers for persecution. So Dr. Cosby
so I think we're on the same page with that.
Found guilty through due process. He hasn't done anything. So under American law, the accusations are just that. They carry no weight other than accusations, and they must be proven using due process beyond a reasonable doubt. If they have not been, then they're essentially worthless, just so much talk. That's
so I think we're on the same page. So I think we're on the same page with regard to the law. I think part of the challenge, and I sent out a tweet last night that you responded to. I'm going to pull it up. It says, I said, Bill Cosby is not innocent. He has not been exonerated. His release means that Cosby, a sexual predator, was incarcerated within a criminal legal system that has as little regard for its own rules and procedures as does Cosby for his victims.
And this is a black man.
Yeah.
Slandering another black man.
When we say slander, it's because legally he is innocent. That's the point.
He has been exonerated.
Exactly. Legally he is innocent. He can sue for this type of stuff.
They cannot
recharge him for this.
They can't do this again.
So for you to go on Twitter and say this either tells me one, two things. Either you actually believe it, which is crazy, or
you were told.
You were told to say it, or three, you trying to get clout.
And this is the same thing they do with they treat Bill Cosby the same way they treat O.J. Simpson.
Please, people, I see so many black people. Go back and look at the case. The dude who found the evidence on O.J. Simpson was a literal racist, literally a part of the KKK, admitted racist. He planted evidence. Come on, man. I'm not even getting to that. Please go back to the O.J. case and actually read this. I didn't even read the whole thing. I read just a little bit of it, and it's like it's bullshit.
And that's just the 2-dimension. That's not even going into the 3-dimension.
That's not even going into what really was about. It's just, please stop saying OJ did it.
Literally, Bill Cosby is the new version of O.J. Simpson.
Well, I can't say that because it's on the books with OJ. What happened with Cosby? It's behind the scenes. It's hearsay. We don't even know. But please look up the OJ situation for yourself.
And you responded. You said
he hasn't had any. Law is a baseless accusation. It has no weight.
No, so under the law, I think we're on the same page again. But part of the problem.
So Marc Lamont Hill is saying we the public have not exonerated him.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. So the courts can exonerate him, but we don't have to. We can still hold him guilty. It's one of those things where when you look at people like Chris Brown, for instance, the Rihanna situation is still a black cloud over his head. By the way, wasn't he like 18, 19 when that happened? Maybe something like that?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's been a decade plus.
And that doesn't mean that he should not be held accountable for what he did.
It doesn't.
Where we're saying
it's been a decade plus. Now he just got accused again of hitting some girl.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, we saw what happened with the white girl
in the UK. There was a girl. There was a case in the UK who accused him of rape,
and the media quickly reported on it. And within a day, within a day, it was proven wrong, and the media didn't report on it. Same thing when that white girl called the cops on him for kicking her out of his house, and he was on Instagram like, they trying to shoot me. I'm in my house. I ain't did nothing. I kicked the girl out of my house, and everybody was like, Lord, they gonna kill him. It's like that's
Lord, they gonna kill that boy.
And all of this because of what happened with Rihanna. So forever, he's violent and he's a woman beater. So anybody who accused him is automatically going to be believed. And I'm not saying it's completely wrong. Society, that's normally how things go. Once you're convicted of something, you have to get rid of that stain yourself.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy how it follows you forever, where people don't even want you to have success afterwards. They don't even want you to have success. Forever you are deemed and ostracized and want to be put out of mainstream society. And it's like at some point, you either got to forgive or we got to make this a punishable offense of death. One of the two. You can't have that gray area where they're always considered a bad person, but you allow them to make money. Because then you're putting everything in a situation where you can constantly complain about them without fixing the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what Mark is arguing for. He wants the ability for somebody to be considered innocent, but still the public can consider them guilty forever. So Cosby can never have a comedy tour. All the comedy clubs should automatically ban him. No TV network should work with him. No production company should work with him. But he's innocent amongst the law, but he's guilty to the public, and that never works.
Right. So what I want to do is just move the conversation up a little bit. I think you and I agree that legally he's not guilty, that legally he doesn't have any burden of proof. The state does, and it hasn't met that. Legally, his rights were violated. We're on the same page about that. I'm saying the legal question to me is rock solid. But I think what was happening yesterday was people were conflating those two things. They were acting as if because the state didn't meet its burden and because he was released based on the fact that he didn't get due process, or his due process rights were violated, that was somehow proof of the belief that many people had that Cosby was actually not just legally not guilty, but actually didn't do anything at the moral and ethical level. And hold on 1 second. I just want to place.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, hold on. Let me place the question to you. So I guess what I'm saying is, can we hold space for two ideas at the same time? Can someone, under the eyes of the law, be completely not guilty, and at the same time, can we have a public conversation? Because I know you talk about culture, you talk about our community, you talk about values. Can we also talk about the fact that someone can be doing great harm and even be a predator at the same time that legally they're all the things you just said?
No, because the law presumes them innocent until you prove them guilty. It is a specious thing. That's part of this new paradigm where everybody gets a trophy, a participation ribbon. Nobody's feelings get hurt. Freedom of speech gets restricted if somebody feels uncomfortable or undelighted by what is being said. That's not our reality.
So let me ask you a question. When George Zimmerman killed Trayvon Martin and the jury found him not guilty, do you feel that the black community should not have continued to express outrage and call George Zimmerman a killer because under the law he was innocent?
They should express outrage with themselves for lacking such political influence in the selection of the district attorney or in the even weight assigned to them. See, the rules are the same. But from my perspective, I think of all the black folk that have called me over the last 35 of jury service, all of the black folk that voted a handout where you've got a racist idiot on that handout for judge and they don't even pay attention to who's on the ballot.
See, Mark tried to trip him up.
And he always drives it back to you being accountable.
So what he said was, well, if you don't think people should be outraged with Cosby, then black people shouldn't be outraged with Zimmerman. And it's like, well, no.
Let's try to make it into a race thing.
A race thing. And he's like, no, those black people, they voted that judge and that DA in. If you put in a righteous judge with a righteous DA,
you may get a righteous judgment.
Exactly. You can't we got to stop expecting other races to give us justice. You have to give yourself justice, which is why the easiest way, I won't say easiest, but the simplest way for black people to end this police situation, police yourself. Stop expecting the state police to actually look out for you. Their job is to protect property.
They don't want black people to police black people.
Police, their job is to protect property and to give out fines. That's it. Protect property and fine people. If you want actual people in your community that care about your community, you need to hire people that look like you to police you. There was a video I remember seeing where a black dude, I think he's an NFL player, big dude, he was going through a certain situation where he was, kind of being wow. And two black officers walked up to him and said, chill out. And you know what he did? He chilled out. When the white officers came up to him, he was still kind of, get off of me. He was ready to fight. He was swinging on them. When the black officers walked up and said, yo, chill. Hey, bruh, chill. It's a certain way you talk to people that you know that you're able to calm them down. So that's the way you fix things. By putting people in office that not just look like you, but share your morals and your goals to what should be done to fix things.
Who don't go out and vote for sheriff or effectively for mayor or for the district attorney and complain about it. See, when you have an opportunity to do something about it, do it. And see, most of the people that are off in the penitentiaries are not in there for playing Robin Hood. They robbed from their neighbors, burglarized their neighbors, killed their neighbors, raped their neighbors, sold poison to their neighbors. And the other thing is, it's not guns. It's not any excuse. It's we have got a lack of manhood and masculinity in our neighborhoods. See, masculinity is the imposition of a set of behavioral standards on a boy. So when the boy grows into a man, he has some things he has to do that he cannot get away with, that he is compelled to look to, making where he lives a better, safer, more secure place filled with economic prosperity, sense of purpose, morality, and ethics. He is a man of public peace, dignity, and order, who is a man of peace, who can be a brave and courageous man when necessary. See, we have to start taking
Judge, let me
our
pause you for a
neighborhoods
minute.
back.
We're going to take a... Judge, I want to hear more about that, Judge. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break and bring it right back. The right to due process, and no one should be sitting in prison or jail for something that they either didn't do or if their rights are violated, or both. But you've also raised this interesting question that I think is worth unpacking a bit, and that's about ethics and morality within the black community and holding each other accountable and talking about manhood and masculinity. If we, again, assuming Bill Cosby doesn't take the legal stuff off the table, if we look at the depositions, the very thing that got him ultimately, the thing that ultimately got him locked up, and those depositions, and he's talking about the various women he had sex with giving them alcohol and pills, whether it's Quaaludes or Benadryl. If you look at the dozens of women who come forward.
Yeah, somebody
Benadryl?
Yeah, somebody in the comment section said Bill Cosby went to jail for giving a chick Benadryl.
Shit, I took Benadryl the other day for my allergies and it didn't do shit.
Hold on, that's a very simplistic way to look at it. He was like, Bill Cosby went to jail for giving somebody Benadryl.
And accuse him. Is there room to say, look, Bill Cosby can come home because the prosecutor was wrong, but Bill Cosby also has to be accountable for what he represents and for acts of and for predator-like behavior?
What about these women being accountable for their own behavior? They were groupies. Well, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rap, sex, drugs, baseball, football, basketball, movies, television. See.
Yeah, but right now I'm talking about Bill Cosby. I'm saying
we forgot what that term meant. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. The bimbos come to the party, they hang out, they get drunk, they snort lines.
You just see, Judge don't pull no punches.
Let him go.
Of blow, and they have a good time. They use the hall closets to give head.
No, Judge kept it
Judge
real.
is real.
Judge said, we're not going to play this game like these. Like, hold on. Basically what he's saying is, we're not going to play this game like women are just innocent. These women didn't want sex. These women were just so lost. They didn't understand what drugs and alcohol was.
What he's saying to Mark is, you don't ever have women coming up to you knowing that you are in a
TV show and all this stuff.
You're some sort of celebrity.
Exactly.
That has never happened to you. You've never taken advantage of being a celebrity.
You never went out to a bar or a certain occasion and had a few drinks with a lady and you knew she was a little drunk and you're a little buzzed and y'all know what y'all gonna do tonight.
Listen, Judge Joe Brown said,
call people crackheads.
You know what be going on in these Hollywood circles.
Exactly.
That's not just Hollywood. Hell, political respondents, they are Hollywood.
Exactly. Politics, athletics, movies, all
it's
of it
all
is entertainment.
intertwined.
It's all just one thing. They're all friends and rub elbows with each other.
Somebody knows somebody.
Exactly.
Bathrooms to get down, and you go in to get your coat off of the bed, and they're laying on top of it doing somebody. See, that's what that's about. So,
yeah,
but
Judge, it has to be consensual, though.
30, 40, 50 years after something was in big-time style, when this stuff started out, the sexual revolution was going on.
Exactly. Once again,
the 1970s,
70s,
hell, part of the 60s too.
Late 60s. Well, actually, the 60s in general. That's when the hippie stuff is going on. The hippie stuff, that was white people though. Let's be honest. The 60s, I think niggas was probably a part of it, but the 60s was really white hippies. But because niggas was doing the civil rights stuff, even though it came out that those civil rights marches were really just meetup spots, and they would just kind of have a lot of sex at those civil rights marches. But the 70s, drugs and alcohol and sex were just the way things were. It was like breathing. Having sex with somebody that day was breathing. It was nothing.
Yeah.
You got to remember, this is before HIV.
Yeah.
So it was just free to do everything you want to do. Do whatever. Yeah.
They want to be sexually liberated again.
They can't do it now because, boy, them STDs turn their ass up.
And a lot of women got into it deeply.
Okay, but so there's two things you raised. But first, let's talk about Bill Cosby. We can talk about the women, but let's talk about Bill Cosby. Let's talk about Bill Cosby for a second, because that's the person we're talking about. My question was, is there room to what did he do? Well, according to the deposition, he gave women pills, and in one deposition, he specifically said he didn't know whether.
Force it down their throat,
let me finish.
He didn't take advantage of them. Look at that interview Whoopi Goldberg did with that model Johnson. Whoopi got all so wait a minute. You're trying to tell me that
hold on, Judge. Let me ask the question.
Found out you were high, he called a cab, took the elevator down with you, put you in the cab, paid your fare, tipped the man, and sent you home because you were high? So what did he do?
So in one deposition, so Judge, in one deposition specifically, when he was asked the question, was he sure that the woman was sober enough to consent? He said, "I don't know." But there's a big.
Oh, that consent. We're gonna get into that. What is consent? We can get into that.
Your question here is, if someone willingly takes pills and becomes high and drunk, can they legally consent?
Yes.
Just wait.
Sometimes you can. Used to be you could. They had a change in there back 25 years ago when they were saying, no, you can't. But before that, basically, you could. That's why they told you.
But we're talking about the law. So then, Judge, again, since you're saying we should appeal to the law, if the law says...
See, this is where Mark thought...
About to get cut up.
Mark thought he had him. He like, got him.
Mark thought he had him on the ropes.
And Judge was able to do the rope-a-dope on him and turn his ass, and now he's throwing hooks to the body. It's over.
That you can't be...
Intoxication where you did something to them they didn't consent to. See, that's when that law started changing from you got yourself drunk, you're responsible to know the bartender's responsible because he lets you get drunk.
Yeah, you see that? See,
and
what Judge started with was, it used to be legal. You could consent when you were drunk. But the law changed to you can't get yourself drunk. The bartender got you drunk because he let you get drunk.
Anybody who has gotten their license to serve alcohol or bar mixologists, you know that's one of the test questions on there saying about bartenders are legally
held responsible for people getting drunk.
If
someone gets drunk in your bar, gets in their car and go get in the crash, you're held responsible. You can lose your liquor license.
You got to take the keys.
You can lose your liquor license if someone gets drunk in your bar and gets in a car accident.
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying. Back then, no. If you got drunk at a bar, you came to the bar and got drunk, got in your car and crashed. That's your fault.
There's several questions on there about that.
Yeah. And we get into it. Hold on.
That's when that change started coming
Bill
about.
Cosby's admitting to giving women alcohol and pills for the purpose of having sex, and if by the law you can't consent if you're drunk or high.
You go out to dinner or you have a party or something. So
but that's not the same.
Why is it not the same thing? Why is it not the same thing? Hold on, and people in context, listen to what we're saying. Cause y'all was saying Lost in Seattle like drugging women.
No, buddy.
Judge Joe Brown is about to make a comparison. What is the difference between taking a woman out and she drinks wine versus you
going to
offering
a party.
her for Quaaludes and she knows what Quaalude does. Exactly. It's not like she doesn't know what this pill does.
Exactly.
So let's put it in context.
So basically, what's the difference between one drug from another? If they understand both of them and consenting to taking both of them.
A substance is a substance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're inebriated.
Because they do something they would have done anyway. A whole lot of them I knew back in the years would take
sexual
drugs,
assault, Judge.
particularly Quaaludes. They did that a lot. I had a lot of female clients I had to get out of messes because they had a fondness for quaaludes.
Quaaludes.
It's not cool,
Yeah, but it's okay to take.
Don't you bear any responsibility for this, especially if you keep going back?
So,
He looks in the camera.
Judge, let me. I want to lay this out plainly, just so, and I'll give you a chance to respond. I'll even give you the last word. If you give someone drugs and alcohol, even if they want to take the drugs and alcohol, if they get to a point where they are inebriated, where they are high or drunk, you cannot have sex with them. It is not sex, it becomes rape. And even by the legal standard that you're saying we should appeal to.
That's only the law in certain states. It's not for every state. And it goes into the same philosophy. It goes into the same thing. I didn't know I was going to get that drunk, so it ain't my fault I got a DUI and kill somebody.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. If you saying, if a man and a woman go out, they get drunk, and he has sex with her, that's rape. Then what do you say to a person that gets drunk, gets in a car, and gets in a car wreck and kills someone? Could they consent? They were out of their mind. They didn't know what they were doing. They were drunk.
Let's be honest. There's only 2 reasons why, or 3 reasons why a woman's gonna say she was raped and she had sex with him and she was drunk. 1, he actually raped her.
Yeah.
2, she regret that she slept with this man. Or 3, he ain't called her back.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. And let's be honest, the rape one, we don't know where that one ranked because false allegations happens a lot.
False allegations happens all the time.
And they try to say, oh, that's actually a lower number. Most women don't tell their, listen, I don't even know how you come to that number. How do you say most rape isn't reported when the women didn't report it? You wouldn't know. So that means you got a bunch of women walk around saying they were raped and they never said anything until they were asked about it. And you go, well, why didn't you say anything? They said they weren't going to be believed. So what you're saying is the women who, I'm just saying what they're saying. What you're saying is the women who lie about it go to the cops more than the people who are telling the truth.
That's, I hate to say that this is comparable to child support. A woman gonna put you on child support for 3 reasons. Either
you're a deadbeat,
you not giving up the pipe, or I'm trying to think of the third one.
I guess it's essential. Sometimes the father will tell the mother,
or the father will tell, we need to have you put me on child support so that. Thank you for getting me out of that situation.
Yeah.
So that he can have documentation showing that he is giving child support for future.
Yeah.
She can say, you never.
Yeah, he can have it on book. That's why some people say that when you're married, I've heard people say that when you are married, put yourself on child support. Literally, you're in the house, you're in love, you're with your wife, y'all happy.
So go ahead and show years.
Go ahead and put yourself on child support while you're married. So if anything happens.
Damn, that's terrible. I ain't put myself on no child support.
I'm just saying, the money gonna be sent back to you is the point. You're already on child support, but it's getting sent back to the house and you live there.
Who checked me? Who name me putting it in? I'm writing myself a check?
You put it on her name. So it's a check getting sent back to the house in her name. But some people do that.
Okay.
So just in case y'all divorced, you understand, we were together for 5-10 years, and I paid child support for those 5-10 years.
Sad.
It's a sad case. It's America, baby. It's America. But yeah, that's pretty much that on that. Mark went on to call this the most disturbing interview he's had.
He said this is one of the most disturbing interviews.
Let me see if he about
that
to
head really.
Yeah, let me see if we can get to it. Hold on.
How you think that's going to float?
Right, but the difference is the
plus
drunk person has a responsibility to
on the East Coast who want a new
category. The drunk person has a responsibility not
rape.
to get into the car.
So the drunk person has a responsibility not to get into the car. But once again, the bartender is held responsible for it.
Also, the woman has a responsibility to know
how high and drunk she should get.
How high and how drunk she should get.
You gotta be careful who you're around, man. Just know your surroundings. You don't
also,
know people.
I'm gonna say it, the way you dress.
Yeah, that's the thing. If people see, people spot. It's like when wolves look at sheep.
And it's not, and people gonna take that out of context, saying you can't tell me how to dress.
I still can't. I cannot tell you how to dress.
You know that you are the weaker vessel. You know that you cannot. It's rare that a woman can defend herself.
Well,
against
if she got that thing on her, if she got that,
if she got something to protect her, or she got that blade somewhere,
that blade with a rusty blade.
You have to protect yourself, which means you got to have common sense about how you go about life.
Yeah, protecting yourself isn't just physical; it's mental as well. The same way when you have this thing going around saying protect women, men need to protect women. Well, you know, part of the way to protect the woman is them listening to you. There might be a night where you go, baby, I don't think you should go out tonight. Something, I don't feel it. Don't go out to the club tonight.
Well, hold on. If you got a girlfriend or a wife, you shouldn't be going out to the club. No way.
I'm just saying. We in the modern era. That's how relationships go. If she want to go out, she gonna go out. But
it's what you accept.
Yeah,
you should be going to the club.
But if you got a girl, you know, even if it's just a friend, may not even be your girl, and she's like, and you like, hey, you going by yourself? No, I'm going with da. You go, I don't know if you should go over there.
That's what happened.
You need to listen.
Jessica Reed. She went against everything in her being, telling her to don't go to that party.
Don't go.
And she let that patch-eyed
raccoon
talk her into going.
So yeah, man.
Allegedly.
But the drunk person does not have a responsibility not to give the responsibility.
And you decide to have a good meal, linen, candlelight, wine, dine. You go for a walk in the park. My place or yours. Get over there. Kissy, kissy, poo, seduction, clothes come off. Everybody has a good time. This crowd wants that to be called
everybody isn't having a good time. One person's being assaulted. Right, but what I'm saying, Judge, and I got to run.
See, that's the point. He never admitted to what he did, was accused of, which is
how many people in your court admitted to what they did
all
that were guilty?
All he did was they asked for it, I supplied it. They wanted it.
Okay,
that's like put some candles on and some incense when we do it.
So if they were asking for it,
it's rape. So basically, if a woman asks you for drugs,
said, give me a Quaalude.
Okay, let me ask you a question then, Mark.
It's a thigh opener, quote unquote.
Let me ask you a question, Mark. This is the hood. I'm gonna go to the hood, right? Is it rape when a woman goes to the weed man house and she want a free bag,
or the crack house,
But I'm gonna stick with weed because crack addicts is a different level.
People, that shit.
They on that shit. So when a woman goes to the weed man house and only has relations with him because she want the weed, is that rape? Did he take advantage of her? Is that rape?
That is trading.
It's trading drugs for
goods.
Sex. So when you're out with a girl and she's like, I want some drugs. We're not talking about the Quaalude. We're just talking about drugs in general. I'm trying to get drunk. I'm trying to get high. And you give her some drink and some weed or any type of drug. It could be meth, whatever.
Let's
y'all
just
have
keep
sex
it blunt and she get hot in her ass.
Is that rape? See, this shit get complicated when you get to real life.
It's not rape, but you can put it on. You can put it on the morals of the person.
Now we're talking about something different. As a man, do you even want to be? This is where it goes back to the man to protect himself.
Oh, we have a video of a woman. We said I think it was named what the woman is coming, something in the future. There's a woman who
a man, Signs of the Future, Signs of the Times or something.
She wanted something to eat. He gave her something to eat,
and she said she propositioned him with, and
she felt thankful for what he did, and she could not give him in return what he purchased for this. So she wanted to give a sexual favor for it, and he said no.
See, that's where you protect yourself. See, all this stuff we talking about, woman protecting herself. Man has to protect himself too. You got to be careful. If you got a woman drunk and high, and you don't know this chick, she just some girl you met that night,
don't do it.
You probably should protect yourself and say, nah, I don't know her. Now, if that's your girl and y'all both get drunk, and y'all, that's your girl. You drunk, she drunk, y'all do what y'all do. But if you don't know this woman, it's y'all first time meeting, you just hit her up on some social media or something, some dating site, and y'all just meeting up and she get too drunk and to a point where she's sloppy, you gotta help her into take her home, make sure she good,
take a cold shower.
You gotta walk
Don't use your hands.
Walk it off.
Take a cold shower.
You have to protect yourself as well. So as you can see, he said his most disturbing interview. Judge owned his ass. Judge won that back and forth.
In the comment section, you did a great job.
The comment section was like, man, look.
Great job.
Hey man, it is what it is. So but yeah, man. Judge definitely won that back and forth. Now, right here, I also want to show this here. As you can see, Supreme Court reverses rape conviction because woman wasn't forced to get drunk.
The reason why DUI.
Yeah, the reason why they reversed this is because the man, a person was convicted of rape, and they said, hold on, the man didn't make her get drunk. she got drunk on her own. So how can we accuse him? How can we find him guilty when she willingly got drunk?
And then probably threw herself on him.
So as you can see here, the Municipal Court has ordered a new trial for a man convicted of raping a woman who was drunk. The justices ruled that the state's definition of mentally incapacitated does not include voluntary inebriated victims. Hennepin prosecutor said in May 2017, Francisco Colleague encountered a woman outside a Dinkytown bar who just consumed 5 shots of vodka and a prescription narcotic. Khalil invited her and a friend to a party. Court documents say Khalil and two of his men drove them to a house in Minneapolis. Then another story in Minneapolis, where there was no party. The woman, identified only by her initials, testified that she blacked out on the couch and later woke up to finding Khalil raping her. In 2019, a jury in Hennepin County convicted Khalil of third-degree and criminal sexual conduct involving a victim who was impaired. But Wednesday, the Minnesota Supreme Court overturned his conviction, ruling that the state's legal definition of mentally incapacitated applies if the victim was given drugs or alcohol against her will, not if they consumed the substances voluntarily. So what they're saying is Khalil approached a woman who had, on her own, took 5 shots of vodka and popped some narcotic. So she was gone. She walked outside the bar, her and her friend, and a dude approached her and said, "Hey, y'all want to come with me?" Now, if she wasn't drunk and high, she probably would say, "I don't know you, no." But because she's consented to it. Went with him. There was no party, but he had sex with her. And they said that's rape. But she willingly, before she even got out the bar, got drunk. So it's like, is it her fault for not being able to be aware of the scenario? She got drunk on her own. Now, once again, on the moral side, he rotten for that. You walk up to a woman who you know drunk as hell, and you want to come to a party knowing there's no party, so you know what he was on. But on the other hand, if she wasn't drunk, she would have been saying no.
And this goes back to, once again,
both sides.
Both sides.
Not only did he in prison because he did something stupid.
Yeah.
All you had to do is go find a sober woman, dude. Like, what you doing? It's a bar. I'm pretty sure somebody in there ain't too drunk. Like, damn. You find the drunkest thing you can find. But on the other hand, why did you get that drunk? Now you don't know what's going on. So this is one of the cases, like I said, where they overruled and, reversed it, and now they're going back to a trial and say, hey, she did it to herself.
True.
See, it is what it is. So that's the Bill Cosby situation. Judge Joe Brown handled himself well. A lot of people was rooting for Judge. Like I said, he gave them the most views on their channel they've had so far. He also gave us our most views.
Yeah.
He gave us, 50,000+? Shout out to that. Yo. Judges bring everybody get the stimulus.
Truth teller.
Yeah, the truth, everybody attracted to the truth. But the truth is, how did Congo Judah said it? The truth is like a fire.
Yeah.
It brings you in for warmth, but it pushes you out because it gets too hot.
Yep.
So people are forced to always come back, but they're always going to get mad at some point. But it is what it is. Speaking on lies, let's talk about
telling lies.
when they can't handle the truth, they start telling lies.
We throwing out a lot of quotes by Kwame quote.
Yeah, Kwame, hey, man.
Philosophers.
Funny, man. He is a philosopher. But let's talk about the reason why things can happen to particularly black men where they are perceived guilty with no innocence. I mean, they're immediately considered guilty in the state of the law, in the court of law, is because of certain stereotypes and stigmas that have been placed on him historically. So let's get to the feminist thing. I'm pretty sure y'all know a woman named Gloria Steinem. Now, this woman right here, her TikTok is @HisDaughter7. I think this is her TikTok. I saw this come across my timeline, and I was like, y'all don't understand. Like 6 months ago, I was going to do a video on this. What they call it? Intersectionality with Crenshaw and Wallace and Steinem and Angela Davis. I got a whole.
Tone Talks did a video on it though.
Tone Talks did a video on it. I was planning on doing the whole. Talks. Yeah, I was planning on doing. Yeah, shout out to him. I was planning on doing a whole documentary on it, but
yeah, before he said that,
yeah,
you said it like a couple weeks.
I said it's like January, February, something like that. But I might do that in the future. It's gonna be a long editing process though. I'm lazy. But look, Gloria Steinem exposed. Let's see what she had to say about Gloria Steinem.
Here, let me give you a hint. So I was reading an online article to which I came across something that I didn't know about Gloria. It talks about Gloria's new book, My Life on the Road, recounting her life, journeys, and travels, but look at the bottom paragraph. What is often missed or mischaracterized, however, is the work she did as a CIA agent. Steinem was a spook.
Exactly. And you know, that's where you get The Color Purple. This woman was attached to a lot of the black feminists and intersectionality.
Alice Walker.
She was attached to all of them. Gloria Steinem helped put all of them on the map. And they put out so much destructive literature and even movies that it completely destabilized the relationship between black men and women. At least in the academic level. Because most people in the hood, like, come on. I keep telling people, most people in the hood don't know what the hell no feminism is. They don't give a fuck about no intersectionality. It's just like regular life. Now, do some of those tenets or beliefs leak into the hood sometimes, and you get certain actions from sisters that don't even know why they think this way or why they do certain things? Yeah, but for the most part, this stuff is at the academic level, but it's starting to creep into mainstream media. Well, I guess you could say it was in it then in books and movies, but now it's in pop culture. You got people saying this stuff that are actors and rappers and politicians are starting to say regurgitate these type of things that are completely destructive to our community.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are journalists who are CNN, like what's his name,
CNN.
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper.
He's
CIA
known for
agent.
CIA agent.
Lord, look into the Anderson Cooper's family.
Vanderbilts. His grandmother. His mother Vanderbilt.
They did ritual. Look, man, I'm telling you, we told y'all in the video with Lil Nas X. We told y'all in the video with what was the other video we did? Where we referenced this. But anyway, these people, these elites, quote unquote, they believe in some wicked shit. Look up Anderson Cooper and his family. That's a good read. I'm telling you, it's a good read. Look up his family. It's not boring. Hell, look up a video. I'm pretty sure
there's a YouTube documentary.
Yeah, people got YouTube videos on it. Go look up Anderson Cooper family. I'm telling you, it's a good read.
A lot of them are CIA.
A lot of them.
Agents.
Confused, I decided to dig a little deeper. Black feminism, the CIA, and Gloria Steinem. What follows is a fact sheet about Gloria Steinem's operations against the various social and political movements in America, particularly her role in creating a hateful and virulent strain of black feminism that attacks black men while partnering with the white establishment. Steinem first came across the radar of black men when she put a book called Black Macho and the Myth of the Superwoman by Michelle Wallace.
I should have did that. I might still do that in a section. I still got the tag save. But man, y'all don't understand. And by the way, make sure whenever you look up these people in the past, pay attention if they went to Berkeley.
Berkeley is a ding, 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 ding.
I'm telling you, a lot of these people are attached to Berkeley.
Fred Hampton.
Back in the 60s and 70s, that college, man, was just turning them out. Just pay attention to Berkeley when you look some of these people up.
On the cover of Miss Magazine, which she controlled. Let's read on. The book was written by a black feminist and activist, quote unquote, named Michelle Wallace, who came out of nowhere. She was in her early 20s, yet she was being touted as the leader of black feminism. In the book, Wallace called abolitionists like Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth ugly and stupid for supporting black men. She called black revolutionaries chauvinist macho pigs and advised black women to go it alone. Go it alone? Do it alone? I don't know. But peep what Gloria said. Gloria Steinem said that Wallace's book would define the future of black relationships, and she pushed hard to make sure the book received massive publicity. Define the future of black relationships? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is the so-called...
As if she was sent in.
Do it.
To destroy the black man and the black woman's relationship.
By the way, her and Hugh Hefner were connected. Hugh Hefner had Playboy, and she had...
some people think that Hugh Hefner was a CIA agent as well.
Well, Hugh Hefner was in the military, and he went into college and went into psychology or something like that.
Yeah. Which tells you why he knows how to
he knows how to manipulate. So a lot of people believe that Hugh Hefner admitted in the interview his job was to change the foundation of America's morality. His job was to make people okay with sex. The same thing. What's that damn dude's name? the Something Institute. What's his name? The Institute, the pedophile dude who wrote the book on American sex practices and used prisoners as a baseline for normal American sexuality. What's his damn name? The Something Institute. God damn, I can't remember his name now. But he's the one who defined the sexual mores of America. He's the one who went to prisoners, rapists, pedophiles to prove that these degenerate type of behaviors were normal in American society. He used these people and said how many American, he used a fake number to say that the percentage of Americans and in the, what was that, the 50s that was having affairs in their relationship was way higher than it really was. He convinced his country that everybody was whores and whoremongers, pedophiles and rapists. He convinced his whole country they were all degenerates and that the normal, quote unquote, what's normal as far as sexuality is not really what's defined by mainstream media. I can't remember his damn name. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be able to move away from this. The Something Institute. Hold on. I should have did. I didn't think I was gonna have to talk about this. Let me see this right quick. The Institute on. Try looking this up. Sexuality. Oh, there you go. Kinsey Institute.
Okay.
Kinsey.
Dr. Umar Johnson talked about that too.
Yes, the Kinsey Institute. Look up the dude who started the Kinsey, or the dude who is based off of. Look him up. Let me try to find his name right quick. His first name. Kinsey Institute. Alfred Kinsey. Yes, there's a documentary on YouTube about him too. Alfred Kinsey. Please look him up. He was a degenerate. He's the one best known for writing sexual behavior of the human male. And
his motto was explore love, sexuality, and well-being.
Yeah, he's the one that wrote the book Sexuality of the Human Male and Sexuality of the Human Female. He's the one that convinced America that everybody was rapists and pedophiles and and whoremongers, and he's the one who convinced society to be degenerate.
Before it was called the Kinsley Institute for Research in Sex, it was formerly called Institute for Sex Research, and its parent organization is the Indiana University since 2016.
Now listen, the Alfred Kinsey used prisoners who were pedophiles and rapists to write these books. He even went on to use, this is where it get nasty. He went on to use infant babies to prove that infant babies could have orgasms. I'm telling you, look up Alfred Kinsey. And Alfred Kinsey is like the forerunner to Hugh Hefner.
And he's the one that came in, and because before and that
was in the 40s.
But was he also the same one that made homosexuality it used to be a mental illness,
and that was him.
He made it in to try to normalize it.
Yeah, it was considered a mental illness, and he said it was a sexuality. That was Alfred Kinsey. Yeah. So yeah, I know we went off track right there, but that's just to show you that this stuff back in the 40s
runs deep.
It's deep, man.
Called Black Feminist Movement was created and manipulated by the CIA from the very beginning. The only difference between Black revolutionaries and Black feminists on this issue is that Black revolutionaries know they were infiltrated and manipulated, but Black feminists are still unwilling to admit that they were infiltrated and manipulated, largely because they are highly invested in the hateful brand of Black feminism. It is now a central part of the culture of Black women, and this fact has led to the destruction of the Black Revolution and the complete distortion of Black relationships, and the CIA had a direct hand in creating this situation. So Black woman, Gloria Steinem, your American journalist, feminist, social political activist, and CIA agent, she was used to cause disunity in the Black family through the use of feminism. Remember that book we read earlier, the one on the Black Myth by Michelle? She said that would be the future for Black relationships. Nothing positive in that book was written about the Black men. They were put. Do you know?
So yeah, so shout out to that sister. She brought out some truth. I might end up doing that video on intersectionality, but it's gonna be a long one, man. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, man, that the reason why a lot of the things are able to happen to Black men and Black women in society right now, the reason why you look at the media, and you were talking about this yesterday, and how they depict relationships between Black men and Black women, is because of the stuff that happened in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s, and 80s. This stuff has been going on for almost a century now. We at the end of it, really. That's why you're starting to see people, because we're in the age of information, look back and say, "Oh, this is bullshit." So, it's gonna be a long walk back.
Time to come back to the table.
Shit, that table gone. At this point, either you come back or you stay. The table gone. Ain't no negotiating at this point.
No, it's not even negotiating. It's just coming back to the table.
But yeah, man, that's gonna be a long walk back because it was a long walk forward. But we'll see what happens in the future on the relationship. Oh, it'll get better.
See what happened, nigga. It's gonna get better.
No, we know it's gonna get better when the calamity happens. That's when it's really gonna get better. But yeah, man. But let's talk about something a little bit lighter, I guess. Let's talk about boxing. There was a boxer a few days ago, maybe a couple weeks ago now, who made comments before his debut, before his boxing how you say the word? Damn, tongue got tied.
His debut?
I don't think it was his debut.
Oh, what'd you say? Can you repeat that again?
He had his boxing match in America on PBC on Fox.
Exhibition?
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Okay.
Tongue got tied. So he is from what I saw, a Nigerian dude. And he made some comments about
Black
his
Americans.
opponent. No, his opponent said some things. I guess they were doing some banter. And he said something that I don't even think the people who were interviewing him was like, what he just say?
They know what he said.
So this is the dude here. Sorry, the video's a little blurry. I could have found a better one, but we just want to hear what he got to say.
I'm pure African. I'm not an African American. Like this boy said, like I'm not a nigger. I came here with a flight. I didn't come to America with a ship. So there is a difference, There is a different blood flowing in our stream. So he can't say this is not the toughest fight. He knows.
So the fighter he's going against said, "This is not one of my tougher fights." Now the fight ended up being a barn burner. It ended up being a fight that went back and forth. It's a heavyweight. I mean, I think it's a heavyweight or a light heavyweight fight. I'm pretty sure it's a heavyweight fight. So it's always one of those, heavyweight fights are not really as entertaining because you got dudes that's 260 pounds, 280 pounds. I'm going to the little rant right now. If you are a heavyweight boxer, you should not weigh over 240. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous.
Pillsbury Doughboy.
It makes no sense. And I'm not talking about people like Tyson Fury because he actually can box. But a lot of these dudes in the heavyweight division be too damn big. They tired after 4 rounds, and at that point, they just swing at the fence, and somebody got to go down.
What's the dude how did I forget his name? The one that fought Deontay Wilder and won the first time?
You mean Tyson Fury?
No, Anthony Joshua, sorry. The one that fought. No. The boxer that fought Anthony.
Oh, Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz.
Hey, Andy Ruiz.
Hold on.
Oh, he was sticking it.
Andy could box. And he had fast, little arms was fast. I ain't going to lie. He caught
Pillsbury Doughboy.
But he got his ass whooped the second time. But yeah, let's just look at this clip right here of one of the things that happened in the fight.
It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference.
What's in the blood?
Great action in this fight.
Yeah, he got saved by the bell. He was about to get put to sleep.
Big hook, approaches hard, right hand. He's going to give him a count. He's going to give him a count. He is on the ropes. He's got a count. That's a knockdown.
So the American ended up winning the fight, but it was a closer fight than that. He didn't knock him out. Right there, the bell saved him. But that went into another discussion when he said the words, obviously the most disrespectful thing he said, and we've heard that before. I came over on a plane, not a ship. I'm not a nigga.
This ties back into everything in the previous videos I say. They don't identify themselves as black. They don't call themselves nigga. They don't start calling themselves those terms until they come into America
and get ingratiated. Hold on.
And come around black people, and black people have to wear them down. You black, you a nigga. Or they are in Africa and they are so influenced by black people. There was a country.
America. They called
Americana. They called themselves something
America, and they were copy. Like they were like,
and they didn't give a damn how you felt about it.
And now that I look back, that flag they had was the African American flag.
Yeah,
I didn't know that then. Now I know that was the African American flag.
But they don't identify themselves as black.
So that went into another topic when he said, I'm not African American. Now, obviously, he's saying that because he's African. He's from Africa. He lives in Africa. He's a citizen. But this other girl who deleted her account, I don't know why, she got on Twitter because someone had made a post saying African American and African Americans are anybody who's of African descent who was born in America. It's an African American definition. And it was like, well, Black Americans or ADOS or FBA shouldn't call themselves African American because anybody can be labeled underneath that.
That's true.
So she was like, well, why do I get attacked for calling myself African American? Now she is Canadian, Haitian that moved to America, but she called herself African American. Yeah, it's somebody said she's like a triple agent.
She is a triple agent.
So she's saying she's African American because she's of African
dipping
descent.
in all pots.
No, she's saying she's of African descent, living in America. She's African American.
And that's why I said when Jesse Jackson decided to place that term, or they told him to come out and pretend like he did that term,
yeah,
it ruined it. African American can apply to anybody who is African descent and who now resides as a citizen.
Well, that's not African descent, black.
Well,
anybody who's considered black can call themselves that. Because at this point, I'm telling you, you got Indians and Middle Eastern.
That's why Negro.
Huh?
Negro.
What do you mean?
When you think of Negro, you think of Black American.
Yeah, but you got Indians and Middle Easterners that's starting to, they're not saying they black, but the way they dressing, the way they starting to talk, you're like, oh, hold on. They're starting to, like in England, I found this out. In England, people from India refer to themselves as black. I was like, wait, what?
There's that actress, Mindy, her brother got a scholarship.
Her brother faked to be black so he can get a scholarship in America.
Kept his hair low, so nobody
wouldn't
see that.
He didn't look black, though. He did not look black.
Nobody wouldn't see that. Those spikes growing out of his head.
When you saw that picture, it was like, they ain't no damn. How they even fall for that shit? They ain't no black dude. Like, come on.
They fell for
Nigga,
Kamala.
come on. But we're going to listen to what this woman, I think her name is Jessica Wu, what she had to say about her heritage before she started calling herself African American, I guess.
Mama always told me, I better not ever catch you doing that. I better not ever catch you denying that you are Haitian. Let me tell you who we are. You know, and I just had one of those moms who she made it her duty to speak life into where we came from. Right. And she would take me back. My grandma would take me back to Haiti all the time. And when we went to Haiti, we lived well. Right.
I had maids washing my ass. Listen, in Haiti, there are a class of people who, I can't remember, I don't know how to say the word. It starts with a V. Vishatex or Viet. Okay. They are a class of people, they are children whose family that can't afford to take care of them, and they go work for a wealthy family as a servant. They work from day and night. They're slaves, servants. So I'm not surprised to hear her say this. They have a slave class in their country.
Why would you want somebody washing your ass though?
So when you hear what I just said, so when you see people from other countries, most foreign black people who come to America come from wealth.
They're elite.
Most of them, not all of them. You got some that immigrate to America through Mexico, or they get on the boats with the Cubans. But a lot of them, even Africans, some Africans come to America through Mexico as well. That's how they get into the country. But the ones who come on a plane and come for study and college and stuff, they usually come from a wealthy family in their country. So when they come here and they brag about their success and they say, I was able to afford to go here, and it's like, when the black Americans that's here don't have that money, you're comparing your wealthy people to the poor people of America, the poor blacks. So that's where that disconnect comes. And that's why you have a lot of, I saw Africans say stuff like, don't pay attention to the Africans that come to America because they are elitists, not just to y'all, but to us too. I've heard people say that. Like, don't think that their opinion is the opinion of everybody else because they just as elitist towards us as they is to you. So.
You know, like, we're living good. You know, we're going and we're taking a bath in the river. You know what I mean? There's fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. The meat don't even taste like it tastes here. Right. You know, your skin starts glowing. It looks clearer. You know what I mean? So it was like we lived well. But my mom would always make sure she would take me na mission, Haitians always, na mi sombrale,
Right.
and, she would take me up to the mountains. She'd take me up to Mononville, Titayen,
Right.
where I would see how people live with no electricity, and still they lived well. Minimal lives, but they lived happy lives.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I'm just really thankful that my family always instilled
The Haitian nation.
and I've always been proud of that. And people will follow me. Oh, I love the way you rep Haiti. I'm like, that's nothing new. Like I've always toujours parlé créole. The things that you see me.
Well, but I would say this is one thing that I really love about you. Like everything that you.
So yeah, she basically talked about her appreciation for her culture, which is great.
Yeah.
But now you're calling yourself African American. It's like, what's that about? You're saying here you're a proud Haitian, your mother instilled Haitian pride in you, you're happy, but now you talking,
talking out the side of a mouth.
I'm African American. But yeah, speaking of African Americans, what they call it, Native African Americans. American
natives.
American descendant of slavery, foundational Black Americans, the freedmen. Got all these groups now. Travis get annoyed when thinking all these damn groups. They should have just started stuck together.
All these damn groups is too much going on.
Yeah, but one of the ADOS or FBA or whatever you want to call them, freedmen, we call them freedmen. Robert Johnson, who was the first billionaire, calls for $14 trillion in reparation and wants a check too. America's first Black billionaire, Robert Johnson, is pushing hard for the government to pay $14 trillion in reparations, and he wants his check just like everyone else. Reparations will require the entire country to admit that the result of slavery has been 200 years of systematic racism, the Black entertainment television founder told Vice. And for that reason, Black folks have been denied $3 to $15 trillion of wealth, and therefore we as a country now must atone by paying Black people of all stripes, the rich ones, the poor ones in the middle, out of our pocket, Johnson told the outlet. Johnson, who owns several homes and heads an assessment management firm, insists that means money for himself and other rich and famous Black Americans, namely Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James. In fact, he suggests they are more deserving because they have a proven track record of putting their money to work, saying that reparations should be an investment program rather than charity. If you're a successful Black business, the idea is you've had enough, Johnson said of those who dismissed the payouts. But no one ever asked if white-owned businesses is too rich to benefit from investing in a football stadium or receiving the benefits like preferential tax treatment or liquidity injection from the Federal Reserve. Now, that's a good point. When Wall Street flopped in 2008, they bailed them out with billions of the taxpayer money.
And they still bailing them out.
The infuriating part is the damn CEOs of the companies got bonuses.
Yep.
God,
instead of taking that money and handing it down to you, lowest of your lower staff, they took it and gave it to themselves.
Shout out to AMC. Shout out to GME. Hold. Just hold. Fuck them. But yeah. So, I mean, he make a good point. Why is it when we think about reparations, we think anybody who's successful shouldn't get it? Shouldn't they actually get it? They have a proven track record of helping. I mean, some of them do.
It's not even just that. They're Black, so they should get
it.
Their due justice too.
Just because they're wealthy, an injection of money into them would just make them more successful and able to help their people more. So obviously,
you would think.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you would think. Unfortunately,
you would think.
But yeah, so obviously this is the original story on Vice. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, he originally said this in 2020 of last year.
Okay.
He been said this a year ago. I guess
and
now
happened to repeat it again.
I guess he said it, but then COVID hit, and it just like, dude. Now COVID kind of it's still here, but so now he's like, hey, I said what I said. I want my check too.
They letting y'all have summer thing.
And it's funny, we had just talked about Robert Johnson with the BET Awards video and how he's the founder of founder of BET. He once owned the Bobcats that he ended up. I guess you would say he sold it to Michael Jordan. So it makes sense why he said Michael Jordan's name in his article.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, okay, we had a discussion a few months ago when we talked about celebrities. One of the discussions is that celebrities don't do enough to push for certain things for their people. Then we had a discussion of, well, celebrities shouldn't be at the forefront. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so how do you feel now? What is your thoughts on celebrities or wealthy black people taking the mantle of talking about reparations for black people?
There's no problem or issue with them talking about it, because actually when they talk about it, it gets more attention to it.
Yeah.
I just still don't believe.
Okay, what about them advocating for it? Not just talking about it, but being at the...
yeah, they can advocate for it.
No, being at the forefront of a movement for it. See, that's where it kind of...
I don't know. I still don't think they should be at the forefront.
So who should be the forefront of it? Do we find somebody?
I think it
Do
should
we vote
be
for somebody.
I think it should be somebody who has
the knowledge,
the understanding, a person that's a leader.
They
have to be righteous too.
Hold on. I don't think you can have one person.
It could be multiple people.
No. It has to be a committee.
Yeah.
So it has to be
you can form a committee.
You have to have a group of people that are like-minded and understand what the goal is. And they actually have to agree on the solution.
Yeah. A committee of 9.
9?
Yeah.
Why is that number?
I was gonna say 12, but you have to have an odd number, because there needs to be somebody
that swings the vote.
That's
really. So hold on. That was really insightful what you just did. I didn't even think of that. I never thought about
12
that.
because of the 12 disciples, but
12 disciples. The jury. Why is the jury? Oh, because they have to have everybody agree.
Yeah.
When you're in a jury.
You have to, cause some Negroes.
You gotta have 9. Somebody gotta be the one.
Nobody ain't gonna agree.
So this
hands gonna be thrown.
So majority rules. Let's do it. The majority rules.
Majority rules.
Yeah, that's insightful. Hold on. You caught me on silence. Well, 9, or should it be like 11?
Be 13.
Nah, not 13. 11.
I know. That's why I didn't say 13.
I say 11. Maybe 11. Yeah, I like that idea. So a committee should be at the forefront of pushing this, and you have the backing of the billionaires and celebrities.
It's 9 people on the Supreme Court.
It's 9?
Yeah. Let me be sure. I think it's 9 people on the Supreme Court.
Is she? Now we gotta look this shit up.
If you don't, you never hear this.
Supreme Court has... We should already have this information. Yeah, we're not the most knowledgeable on civics people.
9.
So, see, we are. We know what we talk about. What you mean?
I know. Yeah, there's 9 people on the
What am I
Supreme
talking
Court.
about?
Because there has to be one person
that swings the vote.
That swings the vote.
That's why they're talking about packing the court.
Yeah. And Texas said, do what you got to do.
Yeah, because they just voted down a voting right. I mean, they said they just voted to sustain a voting rights bill for, is it Texas?
Somebody.
Some state.
And they're trying to make what? They're trying to bring Puerto Rico in.
Yeah.
And then they're going to make the capital.
No. I'm talking about they got a voting rights bill that they've been arguing about. And they saying, hey, we got to vote this down because it's going, black people, Jim Crow, the typical shit. And
that's how they do that. They try to do it to scare black people.
All the time.
And y'all fall for it.
Not all of them.
Shit.
Some niggas don't get scared. They just vote for somebody and go about their life. Like, man, I ain't got time for all that bullshit. You gonna keep bothering me? I want my free fish sandwich. Give me my fish sandwich. I'm gonna vote for somebody and I'm out. Let's be honest. That's what really
like
happened.
Vaccines.
Get your fish sandwiches for a vaccine.
Hamburger sandwiches.
Let me tell you something, man. I remember a story. Somebody said they were at the mall, and this older black woman came up to them saying, "Hey, are you gonna vote?" And he was like, "Well, okay, who I'm voting for? This Obama, da 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 da." He's like, "But what are you gonna do for us?" And the old lady got mad with him for questioning what they gonna get out of it. You gotta just vote. Stop being. It's like, really? And it's like your job is to get niggas to vote. You ain't here to answer questions.
She wasn't here to be insightful.
She's like, listen, I don't know what the hell you talk about. I don't know about no policies. You gonna vote for the nigga?
You gonna vote or not?
You gonna vote for the nigga?
I can go at somebody else and say,
you want this fish sandwich or not, nigga?
No, I want no damn fish sandwich.
You want the sandwich?
I want their policies.
I ain't got time for that bullshit.
Substances.
I ain't got time for the bullshit, boy. You want the sandwich or not? But yeah, I guess that's it for now. We kind of. We got one more thing to talk about.
Mr. Stephen A. Smith.
Lord have mercy. That's the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen.
Listen, the first thing you should think about when you wake up in the morning is giving thanks and praise to the Most High.
Listen. I told y'all, go back to my Stephen A. Smith video. It's one of my most popular videos.
Listen.
We talked about this. I told y'all, Stephen A. Smith back in 2013, 2012 was telling black men to conform. He was telling black men to conform to the system.
Ain't that what Kevin Samuels is saying?
See, that's why I'm saying Kevin Samuels, I probably would disagree with him 100% on politics.
I ain't cut my damn hair.
I ain't cutting my hair. Just get out of corporate America. Get out of there. They're gonna end up making y'all. A lot of you niggas gonna end up in with them vaccines too. You corporate America people. At some point, you gotta.
Well, what they're doing now is you still have to wear your masks at work,
even if you took the vaccine.
Even if you took the vaccine,
which is ridiculous.
But I think what's gonna happen is they're gonna eventually implement that you
must get mandated.
You must get vaccinated.
Yeah. So let's get to let's get to Stephen A. Smith. So Stephen A. Smith, and we're gonna use Kwame as a background. Stephen A. Smith, they found a tweet of him. I think it's an older tweet. I tried to look for the tweet. I think he deleted it.
Probably so.
I went on Twitter. I did the advanced search. I typed in the keywords. I couldn't find it. Now maybe it's still out there. I just couldn't find it.
Listen, today you have to screenshot everything.
I'm learning that. Whenever something happens, I'm screenshotting it. Because I've seen articles, we saw this. I've seen articles get deleted right in front of us that we were reading. It got deleted.
Yeah.
And you go, well, damn. But yeah, let's see what Kwame, Stephen A. Smith.
Not on my watch.
Told you. Watch what this dumb son bitch say. Lord have mercy. Lord. Shout out my boy Carcino.
Look at this damn tweet, man. I wake up every morning with two thoughts. One, how do I make my bosses more money? And two, how do I get some of it?
I don't wake up with those thoughts on my brain.
Now, somebody said that he went further into this and said that when you think like this, whenever you talk to a person who's a business owner or an employer, when you come to them with, how do I make you more money? They'll be more willing to help you make more money. And it's like, that might be true, but the way you said this is crazy. Crazy. Now, maybe I typed in the wrong things to get the tweet. It might still exist. I don't know. But when I saw this, it's like, this proves what I said. The man said to conform. I remember in 2016 or 2015 when Stephen A. Smith said black people need to vote GOP. And then Trump won the nomination, he backtracked. But we also saw him hanging out with Sheriff, what was his name?
Sheriff Clark.
Sheriff Clark. He took that picture and people say, Stephen A., what the hell you doing? And Stephen A., I didn't know who he was. Yes, the hell you did.
You knew who he was, nigga.
You vote how you vote. I don't mind, but come on. You know who Stephen Clark was.
There's a YouTuber who been planning on dropping some information on Sheriff Clark.
If y'all don't say a name, if you know who I'm talking about, when I say Juicy, you should know who it is. The Royal Family is her name. She be get kicked off YouTube like crazy. They be on her ass, bro. Shout out to the Royal Family.
Look at this shit already before you even say the goddamn thing. Look at this stupid son of a bitch. Wow. I wake up every morning with two thoughts. I'm trying to read it like a sorry son bitch. I wake up every morning with two thoughts, massa. Oh, yes. Are we sick, boss? Oh, no.
Nah. Who that nigga on that night? Let me tell you something. Django Unchained. What was his name? How can I forget his name?
You talking about Samuel L. Jackson?
Samuel L. Jackson and Django Unchained. That was the best coon in a slave movie I ever seen in my life.
Listen, Samuel L. Jackson said, if he gonna be hired to play a coon, he gonna play a damn coon.
You know he. They said he almost tried to assault somebody at a college when he was. I think he went to Howard. Mm-hmm. Don't quote me on that. He went on one of these HBCUs, and at the college, he went at the dean and all them. Some of the deans and all them because he said that they need to hire more black something. So he's been one of those people his whole life. So he probably like, you want me to act like a coon? Oh, I'll show you a coon. I know what I hate. So I'm gonna show you what I hate about a coon.
That ain't one of them. Number one. Boy, you are a weak man. Holy shit. I wake up in this family first. This motherfucker say he wake up. Lord have mercy, I can't even read this shit without about to cry laughing. Let me try this shit again. Hold on. Do y'all see this shit?
He's stunned. He's flabbergasted.
We see it.
He don't know what's going on. What?
Let me ask the people in the chat. Do y'all wake up to make sure your job, your bosses get more money?
Hell no.
Look, man. A lot of people wake up in the morning. If they do think about their boss, think about whooping his ass.
They think about that motherfucker. I'm gonna beat his ass. But if I get fired, I catch you at a safe way, I'm hitting your ass so sight.
Yeah, somebody. If I hit this lotto, I'm gonna whoop his ass.
Wake up to try to.
If I hit that damn lotto, I'ma buy this shit. And the first person I'ma find is your ass.
The people dream about firing their boss, boy.
Figure out a way to bring some more money into your household that's going to affect your children. That's going to directly affect your children's future. Do y'all wake up like this, nigga?
Nope.
I mean, young man, bitch ass nigga.
Bitch ass nigga.
Oh, God, I don't wake up like this nigga here. Fuck that. This nigga crazy. But they said I'm crazy. But boy, if that's what not being crazy is, that motherfucker put me in the cuckoo line.
So obviously Kwame went in on Stephen A. ass. That was. I'm not disappointed because like I said, I know Stephen A. We've seen this stuff before. I kept up with Stephen A. back before he got this. Like I said, somehow he was able to clean himself up a little bit, and the public opinion on him kind of changed. But I remember when overwhelmingly they was like Stephen A. is a coon, and the same way you got black people that call Stephen A. a coon or a sellout or whatever. You also got white people that call him a racist because they say he race baits and blames white people and stuff. And it's like, how the hell you get two demographics? How you get your own people and them folk not to like you? How the hell you manage that? You should at least get one to like you. Hell, even like you got the Candace Owens and stuff. At least one demographic like her. I'll say a section of a demographic like her.
Mm-hmm.
But Stephen A. like I guess he got some people that like him, but damn, you got a lot of enemies, dog.
Got a lot of enemies.
But I will say this: they say people with a lot of enemies are the people that tell the most truth. But I don't believe that's the case for Stephen A. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. Ain't no way in hell.
Some people who got a lot of enemies tell a lot of lies too.
Yeah, that's true. Let me make sure this tweet exists. Let me see right quick. I try to look for it, man. I don't like to just assume I wake up every morning. That's gonna be what I'm gonna use. Hold on. Advanced search. Stephen A. Smith. I wake up every morning. Nope. I can't find it, man. Did somebody, hold on. Did somebody Photoshop him or something?
Photoshop what?
Stephen A. Is that a real tweet, man? He might delete it. But yeah, man. Stephen A. looking crazy.
Stephen A. been looking crazy for a long time.
Yeah. So, not surprised about that. But yeah, man.
Shout out to Judge Joe Brown.
Judge Joe Brown. Again.
He did it again.
He went out the park. Hitting him out the park. Judge Joe Brown been on one for, since that Kwame. Well,
him and Kwame is scorching.
Yeah, even before the Kwame thing. Because I would say the last 3-4 weeks, Judge Joe Brown been on a run. He been
doing this for
10 years, 20 years.
He been doing this for years.
I told you, we're going to talk about this story he got.
No, we not. We ain't talk about that story till we get proof.
Tina Turner. We got to talk about that one day. I'm pretty sure most people don't look it up. Look up Judge Joe Brown. We're going to talk about that, but look up Judge Joe Brown and what he said the real history of Tina Turner is. Once again, we have no proof. We haven't found any facts. I got to do some digging. That's why
we have not talked about it yet.
We're going to do some digging, and we'll find out. But we definitely do something on that if we find enough on it. So, yeah. But shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all, man. Thanks for giving us a lot of support. Thanks for watching the videos and spending some of your time listening
We
to
know
us.
all y'all not gonna make it through this.
Yeah, hey, some of them will. The strong survive, baby. But yeah, man, thanks for watching and thanks for giving us the likes, the comments, and all the support.
Make sure you hit the notification bell.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all, man. All praise to the Most High and peace.